Earlier this week, we talked about two of the major product unveilings from Google's I/O conference: Google Play Music All Access, Google's new music streaming service, and Google Hangouts, an all-in-one messaging service. But there were several more significant announcements from the conference you may have missed, so today we're talking to TechFeed's own Jon Rettinger, who was on the ground at the show this week for some observations and analysis. Hey Jon, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me back.
Of course. Now, I'm curious, is everyone rocking Google Glass at the conference? Is like everybody wearing them this year?
Google Glass was everywhere, including dudes that wore them in the bathroom, which makes it an exceptionally creepy experience.
Like you're standing there at the urinal and you look over.
It's even weirder when the guy's like, say cheese. Touching his glass. Honestly, I would say more people were wearing Google Glass than were not wearing Google Glass at the event, at least the press and the Google folks.
Yeah, well, I guess we all have to get used to seeing those in the bathrooms from now on. It's the future. Get used to it.
It really looks like straight out of the Terminator to see the thing, giant. And it comes in such bright colors you can get it. I mean, that's you really have to want to wear like a neon sign that's like, look at me, look at me. I am more special than you are.
Yeah, exactly. So now we talked about both the music streaming service and Hangouts yesterday, but I just wanted to quickly get your reactions to those.
Yeah, so they announced a ton of stuff. We got a brand new Nexus phone. We got the new Nexus 7 tablet, the Nexus 10. We saw Keyline. No, none of that happened. We did get Google Maps though.
So what's your thought? What are your thoughts on the new Google Maps? Is it mind-blowing?
It's all right, so joking aside, they didn't announce any new flagship products, and that's okay. They did announce a lot of cool new features and new sort of web-enabled stuff. One of the things they did was they merged Google Maps and Google Earth. So it is really cool to go zoom all the way out on Google Maps and see the planet with the clouds in real time and move the Earth and see the dark side of the planet. It's very, very neat to see. I don't know how useful it is. We've been playing around with sort of an early build of new Google Maps, and it works very well. And some of the features on it are awesome. But some of the stuff that Apple got flack for when Apple Maps launched, like flat monuments and stuff, we're actually seeing with the new version of Google Maps.
And of course, everything's merged with Google Plus now.
Yep, so everything is totally merged with Google Plus. Google Chat has kind of been updated and refreshed to be Hangouts now. So you can chat from, which you could kind of do before anyway. You can chat from your desktop, you can chat from your phone, your tablet, and all that kind of stuff. So that's a nice way to interact, and I guess now I have less excuses to avoid messages from people.
Yeah, exactly. You really can't. I mean, I installed it on my phone yesterday, and it's just like everything pops up. I haven't bothered to mess with the settings at all yet, but it's convenient.
There is, but there's no way around trying to ignore people.
It's going to be impossible in the future, especially with Glass. Now, what about this sending money through Gmail thing? Are they trying to kill PayPal with this?
Yeah, they're definitely looking squarely at PayPal. So transferring money online it seems complex, but it's just moving numbers around in a database. So trying to be able to send money via Gmail is kind of neat. Most people use Gmail anyway. If they don't use actually a Gmail address, they use Google Apps. We use it for Techno Buffalo. So it is going to make things a little bit easier, but it all depends on how it gets adopted, what the APIs are, and whether or not merchants decide to accept it.
Yeah. So anything else that you noticed that we haven't touched on yet?
So they talked about a lot of interesting things, and a lot of it was kind of nebulous. So you mentioned the music. Google Maps, I thought was a big one. I would have liked to have seen more talk on the hardware side. Not necessarily that they had to give any free stuff, but at least give updates on Glass, what the plan is. Is it going to be a consumer product? They really omitted that. I would have liked to have seen sort of that kind of stuff come out. It was great to see Larry Page, who's been battling some of his own health issues, come out on stage and talk. It was fun to see Google's partners there as well. NVIDIA was there showing Project Shield, which is now just called NVIDIA Shield, that crazy Tegra 4 console. And Google is freaking generous. They're giving away free stuff. So they're giving away these Chromebook Pixels, which...
Yeah, how is that?
It is a gorgeous high-definition screen. It looks insane. The hardware is baller. It just feels great. But then you realize that it's pretty much just running a browser. And I still don't see the utility behind Chrome OS, but if you're going to have a useless operating system, at least it might as well be on a pretty cool hardware, and that thing is really nice.
Anything else that you want to share with us? Any analysis of Google's grand vision for the coming year?
I really liked what they were doing. So I know I/O kind of lacked the sex appeal of previous years and skydiving and stuff. But I do give them a lot of credit for cross-platform integration. I mean, they're releasing iOS applications. I mean, could you imagine Apple releasing iMessage for Android? I mean, could you imagine a world where that would ever be an option? It would never happen. So I do give Google credit for that and sort of trying to live by their "don't be evil" mantra, and they really are pushing through that cross-platform stuff. And if you think about, as an iPhone user, and I use iOS on an iPad all the time, what the experience would be like without Google's features. We sort of had a glimpse of what that was going to be like, with Apple Maps. And it's not the most enjoyable, I think, mobile experience. So I really give Google credit. And I think that they're trying to unify platforms. They're trying to streamline their R&D dollars behind one platform, as opposed to having to spread it out super thin. So I think they're going to do a lot of cool things, but, it would have been fun to have some new phones, at least.
Well, they're increasing our convenience and also increasing their chokehold over all our lives. So
they're increasing the amount of times we walk around going like this.
Exactly.
Hold on.
Well, except in your face now.
Yeah.
On your face now.
Take cheese. Can you imagine that? I mean, wasn't a joke. Somebody really walked in the bathroom. They were making a joke and just went, cheese. I mean, you're just like, whoa. I mean, you're in a compromising position anyway. And I'm sure that's being live streamed right now.
All right, well, we have that to look forward to, and thank you so much for joining us to share your observations.
That's when it's time to cut me off. My pleasure. Thank you for having me back.
So was there anything announced this week from Google that you're looking forward to? Why or why not? Let us know in the comments. For TFN, this is Annie.